And to add insult to injury, he could walk here. And he will. A penalty for Chai and a red card for the Deans. A double blow for the home side.
17 minutes in, you give a red card and it goes to a penalty. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a very lovely day. So we have Horndean versus Chichester, nice local derby. And we're just out for the pre-match walk now. So, you know, gearing up, loosening up the legs, getting mentally ready. Being observed, but that doesn't matter. We go about the same process, keep everything the same and try and keep it easy. But what we're working on today and what we have been working on is recycling play, it's called. So it's when you let play build up in front of you so you don't get caught up when players are playing around you. So hopefully we've got some footage today as well that we can go through that and you know, monitor the footage and look at me recycling play, because otherwise what happens is you get caught up in play and then you get hit by the ball and then you're out of position and then you happen to work much harder than you should do. So that is what we're working on today. So as always, positioning in open play seems to be one of my biggest weaknesses. So that's what we're working on today. But plan of action is pre-match meal, which is going to be baked beans. I won't lie to you now. I'm going to pack my kit bag. And in terms of kit bag, we've already done a video about this. I'm not going to go through it. The video is going to be here for you. So we're going to pack the kit bag and then we're going to head to the ground. I'm travelling with my assistants today, so we should have good vibes all the way. I'm excited. I'm coming off the back of what has been an unbelievable week of football. So we're on a bit of a high. And yeah, let's get this game underway. Let's go. Alright boys, so tough game. Run a lot, 11.8k, which is nice and good, but we'll go through the stats later. Tough game, 1 red, 4 yellows, and a lot of bits and pieces that came around. So there's a lot to debrief coming up. The red was for a Dogzo handball. So, you know, we'll discuss that, what to look for. It was on the line. Is it a deliberate movement of the arm? And they're the questions that have to be asked. We had 2 non-penalties as well. So we have to talk about, is it simulation? Is it not simulation? Positioning wise, I thought I was a lot better today, which is very, very important. I thought I recycled play a lot better, but we will look at that in the debrief and my stats as well. So if anyone beats the stats today, you get 3 months of REFSIX Pro. So onwards and upwards, it's a 2-hour drive home. I'm going to debrief with everyone and hopefully have a nice chilled out evening. But see you there. So, as you would have seen in the entrance to this vlog, there has a red card in this game. So we're going to look at it now and we're going to go for the analysis section. Let's start with my statistics because it's important to look at both. Did I work hard in the game? Did I not? So, from my stats on REFSIX, you can see I run 11.88k. Start big in the first half. That's a common trend with me. I burn off nervous energy. I work hard to make sure the players appreciate me working hard. The managers can see I'm working hard. The observer saw I was working hard. I do all the hard work in the first half and then hopefully have an easier second half. And that's evident in my games. It's a style of refereeing that I like to do. And it works for me. It doesn't work for everyone. It's not a one-style-fits-all, but that's how I like to do it. Work really hard in the first half. obviously still work hard in the second, but I don't feel like I have to work as hard because the players know I'm going to be in and around the right places anyway. Sprint-wise, 66 sprints, so that what works out a sprint every 90 odd seconds, which is cool. 12 high-speed sprints, so it's really good that, you know, my sprint training is working. So I can appreciate that from myself as well. So I can give myself a good pat on the back because it's going well. And again, it's backed up 44 sprints in the first half, 22 sprints in the second half. But there is a reason for that because the game changes after about 17 minutes, I think it is. So yeah, average heart rate is 157, and I spent a lot of time in zones 4 and 5. So that meant when I looked at this, I looked the next day and I was like, okay, I'm going to chill out a little bit. So I was planning on going on like a 12K run because I like to keep fit, but I only went for a 7 in the end because my legs were heavy. And these are all the stats that I get from REFSIX. So, you know, I can go straight after the game, look at what I've done, how I feel. I can validate exactly how I feel personally, like, oh, that was tired, with data as well. And that, for me, is really important. So if you do want these stats, there's a link in our description to get 20% off as well. So feel free to use that, take advantage of the offer. But let's go on to the stuff that you obviously are here for, which is the red card and the game. The first thing I want to talk to everyone about is really nitpicky, as obviously you're all aware, I'm quite self-critical, and that's my starting position. Here I actually think I've got it nailed. So Horndean are in red, Chichester are in green, and you can see I'm starting the opposite side of the kicker, so I'm in the attacking half. And the reason for that is 90% of the time, what I've learned at Isthmian League level and lower is that the ball comes backwards, they take 1 or 2 touches, and then they ping it straight over the top. So how do we look at this, and how do we set up for this? This lad here seems to be ready to make a run, and this lad here seems to be ready to make a run as well. So that's what we're looking at. Our players looking to make a quick run to get into position? Yes. So that means we're not looking to build around the back, we're looking to go long. And that is really important when setting up here, because if I'm starting behind, if I'm starting where I sometimes start, which is in the defensive half, I've got a lot of distance to cover. Now, if I'm not warmed up properly or I'm not paying attention, you know, first 30 seconds, I'm a bit kind of like, oh, whatever, trying to build into the game, then that 50-yard sprint and something happens, I'm going to be well off it. And we can't be having that. So if I set myself up ready to go, and you can see exactly what happens here. If I set myself ready to go, then, you know, I'm in the right position. And that's exactly what happens. And then we've got players trying to run into it. So I'm already there. I don't have to exert so much energy straight away. I'm in the right position. I've set myself, I can breathe, and I can stay calm from, honestly, the get-go. And that's my recommendation to everyone. Start in the attacking half, and you can gauge where people are. Are they setting up with 4 on one side and 2 on another? So the chances are it's going to that side with more players. It's little things that make big differences in games like this, especially as a referee. It's something that we call football intelligence, and that's what we've got to look at. I feel like my football intelligence is good, not great. I feel like reading the game, I can read really well, but things like this I'm having to pick up on, and stuff from dead plays as well. So yeah, that's a good tip to start with. The next point is, I would like your guys' opinion, is the first penalty shout of the game comes in after 13 minutes. Players running in, here they are, penalty appeal. For me, I went no penalty. They're both running here. For me, they're together, side by side. You know, is one leaning in more to the other? The ball's there to be played. You know, I think so. I'd love to know your opinion. Let me down in the comments. Would you have given this a penalty? Would you have not? Obviously, for me, it's a no penalty. Player reaction as well. And I know we say, like, what is player reaction? It's not be all and end all. But player reaction for me is no penalty. He gets straight back up and chases after the ball. No one really appeals for it. It's kind of like a half-hearted appeal. For me, it's just one of those ones where you kind of, how do we say it, polish the carb on it. No, not for me. Don't need to go big. Don't need to make a big, like, cut the grass. No, because I don't want to raise my profile yet. It's just a little bit of a no penalty for me, and then carry on. There wasn't much complaints about that. I think I dealt with that quite well. And then we go to the 17th minute, where we've got the ball coming in. You can see my starting position. What I really like about me here, not to toot my own horn too much, is that I've recognised straight away, I will play the full clip straight away, but look at my positioning, not necessarily what's going on. I've recognised the keeper's dropped the ball, so instead of like I'm ready to arc my run round and start running backwards, but because I'm still facing play and noticed that the keeper's dropped the ball, I start darting in to be ready. And that's really crucial because it shows that I'm alert and aware and my eyes are focused on the situation. So if we go back a little bit, watch the full clip and then we'll analyse. So obviously we're trying to squeeze play here. Here it is, in I go. And then I've given a penalty. I'm quite blasé in here. We'll see another angle in a minute. It's not quite clear. I obviously am suggesting that it's handball. It's on the line, so it's obviously a dog side denial of obvious goal scoring opportunity by the hand. So that is a red card. We'll go into the law side of things in a minute. What I'm doing here is I'm walking in quite slowly. I'm trying to be quite calm and diffuse the situation. I've obviously got players coming around me who are trying to block me from getting the right player, what's going on. So players trying to get other players sent off. It's 50 of one, half a dozen of the other. I kind of walk into the scenario here. For me, I do all the right things. I put him in the right way. Maybe it's about isolating. Does it need to be a quick red card? It's not that quick, to be quite honest. It's a little bit more of a, yeah, I'm going in, I've got this. Maybe I've got to go in, isolate the player quickly, then show a red card. But if I told people, yep, I've got it, I try to be calm. I don't know if it's quite worked for me here. I've kind of sent the player off and he's not actually that aggrieved by it. So, and I'm telling him he's hit his arm. I spent a lot of time thinking, so here we are, have the action replay. The player comes down towards, and you can see I know he's kind of put his arms towards the ball and his arms are away from his body, making them unnaturally bigger. And obviously gaining an advantage from that, from stopping the ball going in the back of the net. As you can see here, I'm in the corner here. I am unobstructed. I've got a great view of it. I'm really, confident in that decision. It's exactly how I saw it on the day, seeing it back. It's not the clearest footage in the world, but for me, it shows that his arms are out. It's not a natural body position for me. There you go. You can see his arms are out. He's moved them towards the ball and then obviously handled the ball. Again, my positioning wise, I'm coming into it. There are little bits we can change in terms of process. Do I go about things a little bit differently? And if you've got any advice here, please let me know in the comments as well, because I think it's important to get different people's perspective on this. But you can see he's moved his hands towards the ball, and then that has stopped the ball going in the back of the net. Player reaction is the goalkeeper's shrugging his shoulders. He knows what's happening. They're not really complaining. The decision is very much accepted. Everyone recognises he's hit his hand, but they wanted a yellow card. Now, what I explained to people at the end of the game, and what I'll explain here is, if the player handles the ball and then it goes in, we give a yellow card. And that's really important because I don't think a lot of people know that. If he tries to handle the ball and it hits his arm and goes in, we award the goal and then we caution for unsporting behaviour. And that's really important that we make sure we get those things right as well, because he has tried to stop the ball from going in the back of the net, but because it's gone in, you play the advantage, but you still caution. So those are the kind of things we've got. It's denied an obvious goal scoring opportunity by hand. It's a straight red card, unless it goes into the goal, in which you allow the advantage to be played, and then you give the big beans and you go play on advantage, and then you caution as well. It's very easy to get caught up in the, oh my God, I've just played the advantage. Make sure that we do the discipline right as well, because that is obviously what we're there for. We're there to apply the laws in a fair manner. So obviously this is the biggest talking point of the game. 17 minutes in, you give a red card and it goes to a penalty. So, overall in the day, I thought it did well. There are little nitpicky things that we can take out of these big scenarios in terms of, do I need to run in a little bit more? Do I dive straight into the lion's den, which is probably not ideal. If it's quite inflamed, then I'm going in and I'm inflaming the situation more, which is what I try to do about being calm. But yeah, so if anyone's got any advice about where they would send them off or where they would take them before issuing sanction or doing those scenarios, then let me know, because I'd love to hear from you. But that is everything in the vlog today. Obviously a big decision that is a turning point in the game, and you have to be big and bold and brave and look at these and say, decision is right, was in the right angle, so process just needs to change a little bit in terms of making things a little bit better. But that's all we've got time for in this vlog. Thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you at the next REFSIX vlog.